So guys, if you look very well, you will notice that this APC, they have started this their blaming game since Tinubu entered into office. Instead of them to look away to correct the mistake they have already made concerning the statement Tinubu made in his inaugural speech about the removal of subsidy, he said that subsidy is gone. So ever since then, like these people don't want to take the blame. They just want to put it on someone else. They are now accusing Nigeria Labour Congress. They said that they are playing politics because NLC have already told them, like, if they didn't do something before Wednesday, that they're going to go on strike. So now Festus Keyamo as well as Bayo and Onoga, they are now saying that even Peter Obi vow to remove subsidy immediately he enter office as a president. Is it because of his coming from Tinubu? That's why most Nigerians, they are against it. And these people, they forgot that in Peter Obi's write-up, even in the interview, Peter Obi have already said that before the removal of subsidy, that thoroughly plans must put in place. Like a lot of things supposed to be done before the removal of subsidy. So these people, maybe they just want to do copy, or maybe they did not even tell their principal that the consequences and all that. He just, said it just like that. Even the $800 million, they borrowed for this subsidy removal, like no one is hearing about it, my people. As well as the Dangote refinery, they are hoping on. And we heard that this refinery is going to start working by 2025. My people, there's wahala in this country. Just take a look and hear what Arise team have to say about the whole matter. But before then, if today is your first time here, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video so that YouTube can recommend it to other ones to watch. And then don't forget to leave your thought because I would love to hear your opinion as well. So let's go ahead and listen to them and hear what they have to say.
Bayo Ononuga, the Media and Publicity Secretary of the Tinubu-Shetima campaign, in a lengthy tweet, accused the NLC president of playing politics and acting the script of the opposition Labour Party that are out to destabilize the young Tinubu administration. His tweet reads in part, "Besides, one wonders whose interests Ajero is championing when he did not oppose the position of his Labour Party and presidential candidate who campaigned with a promise to scrap subsidy from day one if elected. The NLC and TUC leaders knew since last year November that subsidy will be scrapped from July 1st, as no provision has been made in the budget for it beyond this date. The federal government, which already commits 96% of its revenue in servicing debt, is not in any position to continue selling subsidized fuel, most of which is smuggled across our borders for criminal and obscenely unpatriotic profit." Well, more reactions from this street. This is from H2H, who wrote, "Did Tinubu not occupy the streets of Lagos when Jonathan proposed this same policy? Then even with lower pump price compared to now, integrity is the beginning of every good venture. You cannot arrive at a good destination from the wrong way. Tinubu's Writers Association, they have all sharpened their pen and paper." Well, Dikbo wrote, "In 2012, Nigeria was so rich that we could have revived all our refineries, so it was justified to kick against this subsidy removal. Today, Nigeria is broke, and payment of any further subsidies would only plunge Nigeria into more debt, as the funds would have to be borrowed. This is the reality, so no serious government will ever continue on that route unless we are not ready to develop as a nation." Well, another Twitter user there goes, "It was miscalculated to remove subsidy on Inauguration Day. If the subsidy ends in July, why remove it in May? Countries that have removed subsidy has various interventions for workers and the poor in the society. The minimum wage in Ghana is 75,000 naira. Nigeria is 30,000 naira. Well, Dr. Abati, I'll come to you on this story. I know we have discussed it at length, but I thought that it was good to highlight the fact that, the Tinubu administration has said that they will review the minimum wage, but that is beyond the point at this time. I believe I heard you earlier talk about journalist strike, which is where I want to, it's not funny, but it is the fact that, are you coming to work on Wednesday? If the journalists go out to protest, and electricity protests at this point will plunge us into darkness.
It's just to point out, the kind of dire situation in which Nigerians have found themselves because of the disruption the policy formulation process. We just jump from policy formulation straight to policy implementation without setting the agenda very clearly, without ensuring the buy-in of stakeholders to create a sense of ownership among the people before you now, adopt it. Create that ownership, then you begin implementation. After implementation, we begin to look at the evaluation of impact. Yun and Quinn, 1989. That's what those two authors recommended. But here we are now with this reality. The government is saying this is a campaign promise. Yes, the whole idea is that when you go and make a campaign promise, you fulfill it. And that was why Bayo Ononuga was saying there that, look, even the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, talked about removal of fuel subsidy. And we have said on this program that there seems to be a consensus that the fuel subsidy regime, is unsustainable. We've been there since how many years? Since Yaradua, since President Jonathan. The issue has always been how to think through all of this. So that's not the bone of contention. That's not what the NLC or the TUC are opposed to. What they are opposed to is the implementation, is how the process has been jumped, creating tension. And it's as follows. The question is, before President Buhari himself left, he was talking about palliatives. There was a certain $800 million that government said will be used to address the plight of the most vulnerable, about 50 million households. What has happened to that? There was a lot of talk about providing transportation. Where is the talk about that? All of a sudden, we just woke up and we have been told, well, May 29 date, now the subsidy has been removed. We were told that the incoming administration will meet with the outgoing administration and certain, decisions will be taken. Now, what was the outcome of that consultation? It's not enough to just give a soundbite and say, we promised and now we have delivered. What should come first? Is it the palliatives or is it the action itself? What will reassure the people or what will discourage them? As, to the point about, Ajero and NLC, they are pursuing a political agenda. Well, look, the NLC and the TUC, they made it very clear during the election that they were supporting the Labour Party.
Yes.
So there was nothing hidden about that. But to now read that political motive, into something that affects all Nigerians, that would be, which will amount to stretching the argument too far. Labor, organized labor, is asking specific questions. Reverse first. Let us negotiate. Let us dialogue. You cannot argue against dialogue or negotiation. And people have been mounting new national minimum wage. The current minimum wage in Nigeria is 30,000 naira. That 30,000 naira cannot even give elegant and delectable, Ojineka lunch.
Lunch. I mean, it's 30,000
30,000
naira. It cannot.
Many of the states,
absolutely.
Many of the states who were part of this new minimum wage, April 2019,
right.
Up to now, many of them have not paid. They say they don't have money.
That is the issue. That is the issue.
Workers are being owed salaries.
But it's going to get worse because I know you had Joe Ajero on your program yesterday.
Yes.
You know that while faulting the hike in petrol prices, said that the prices cannot be determined by market forces without other players in the sector, and that petrol prices could reach 1,000 naira per liter by December.
Does market forces mean monopoly in a sector? How can there be market forces if Dangote is the only person producing? Are we not repeating a private sector monopoly, which is even worse than a public sector monopoly, which the NMPs have been maintaining? What is the situation in the cement industry and other areas? Why are the Port Harcourt refinery not working? Why is Warri refinery not working? Why is Kaduna refinery not working? Unless there are other players in the sector, we can't be talking of market forces. We can't be talking of competition in the sector. You can't have a single market participant in a sector And we are talking of market forces. It doesn't go that way. Between now and December, if key is not taken, if it's only Dangote that is producing, a liter will be selling for over 1,000 naira per liter. So the argument doesn't make sense before us.
I mean, that went viral. Ayo.
I can imagine how that would go viral in terms of, let us face the reality of the consequence of this fuel subsidy removal. We've already started to see it. Currently, fuel sells for about per litre 488 naira. And as you mentioned, before we get our acts together in terms of certain factors that must be in place to balance the announcement. So one of such, and which organized labor has advocated for a very long time, is our refineries. Currently, what the NNPC boss, the government have said a number of times is this reliance on the Dangote refinery being up and running and being able to at least alleviate or add to the production of oil. But the truth is that there have also been speculations or skepticism perhaps in the, at what point the Dangote refinery will begin full production and it will begin to produce PMS. Because what they've said is that there are other produce that would be out before PMS. Now, just to touch very lightly on the strike and electricity workers in particular.
Yes.
You see, the thing is, it's often said that when two lions fight or when two animals fight, it's the grass that suffers. And so I can understand when you analyze the fact that some people have said the strike action called by Labour is a bit too hasty, that perhaps they should go, spend a bit more time in dialogue. The reason I'm saying that is if you look at strikes, historically in Nigeria, at least in recent times, the people who suffer the most are the Nigerian people. So if the electricity workers go on strike, already we're talking about the price of fuel to power generators. It means that there'll be blackouts across the nation. We have to run our generators for longer with the fuel that we are complaining about. I do agree in terms of them coming into, having a conversation, dialoguing. Organized labor have asked for a return to the original price before, and then have palliatives and discuss before we move on. I do understand that, but I also think that there should be a rethink with regards to the strike on Wednesday, because we should have a bit more conversation and remember those who suffer the most if this does go ahead.
Well, we have videos of a lot of Nigerians that have been talking about the hike and also the protest.
The business is not moving. Everybody they complain, kilo of shower 1, 2. And if you tell customer kilo of shower 1, 2, they will ask you shower. And not everybody they eat shower before, but now, if you know they eat shower, you're on your own. Sardine kilo 2,200 from 39,000 to 45,000 carton. So, that's what we see.
What I'm telling government, this price is over, is too much. It's too much. At least they should consider and put it maybe 300 naira. It's somehow that somebody want to go and see his family in Abuja or Kaduna. You tell him that he should pay 6,000 naira. For rich people, it's okay for them. For the masses, for the poor, it's very bad.